Hi, Yinz Doing. Welcome to the Yinz Goin podcast. I'm Matt. I'm your host. Joining me again today is my boss, Donna. Donna, it's always good to have you on the podcast.
Hi, Matt. Thanks for asking me. My
And
favorite, my favorite resort we're going to talk about, so I could not resist.
perfect. See, I know my boss. It's a great relationship. But we just Dreams by Design Travel, Donna's business. She just passed a milestone, 10th anniversary. The traditional gift is aluminum and tin. So if you want to open some pop, have a couple pops maybe, I don't know. Although
Pops, not soda. Pops, not soda,
exactly.
right?
Although the modern gift is diamond jewelry.
Oh
So
my God. I was just telling my husband yesterday I need a diamond necklace. I saw somebody with a pretty diamond necklace. I said, I need one of those.
perfect opportunity. You're
Yeah,
gonna
you're
sell.
right. Oh my gosh. Never thought of that. For my 10th anniversary, I need to gift myself.
There you go. But today we are going to talk about Disney's Old Key West Resort. And it opened on December 20th, 1991. So this is before Don and I were born, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure it was a grand opening.
We'll have to watch the old archive videos because, yeah. No, this was the first Disney Vacation Club hotel, and its original name was Disney's Vacation Club Resort. It changed its name in January 1996 when more DVC properties started to be introduced, specifically the Boardwalk Villas. The theme of it is a turn of the century Key West, and Donna said it's her favorite. It's it is not my favorite resort because that is the Boardwalk, and then the Yacht and Beach Club and the
Yeah,
Contemporary
yeah.
has always had a place in my heart. But this is probably the one that I've stayed at the most.
Mhm.
Specifically
Yeah.
being a DVC member, and it's the oldest. It is the most affordable, with the at least through the points system of the Disney Vacation Club places. So I've stayed here a lot, and it's great. We don't have a bad thing to say about it. Now tend to stay at the Saratoga Springs a bit more, just because that's our home resort, and I can book that earlier. But
Yeah,
whenever I've
yeah,
tried to book the Old Key West, there aren't the rooms that I want available. So I'm not staying there. It's not a choice. I'd like to stay there.
yeah. What I like about it, and this is when we bought DVC, this was the resort that we toured. And when my husband saw the golf course that it's built around the Lake Buena Vista Golf Club golf course, we knew we had to have it. Like it's a golf community resort. And the only thing missing is they'd let you drive golf carts. That they have golf carts for the people that take the luggage. But if they had just allowed the people to use it's just like a golf community resort. I mean, you could sit on your porch and watch the golf. Like they used to have a tournament there. And that was like one of the reasons we thought, oh, we'll buy it and then we'll come down that week. But then they ended that tournament. But still, we love it because the rooms are the largest vacation club property. I'm not sure how it compares to Saratoga, but I think it's pretty close in size for the villas. They're like
Actually, I
they're
think
like they're like apartments. That's no other way to put it. They're like nice apartments. Very roomy for families. It's a great option for families. That's what at the time we bought, we did have our kids were younger and it gave them more room to run around. And then when you have DVC, you know how it is, Matt. You're not as commando. So you need a place like that to come back to that's really like truly home away from home. And since it was my first exposure to Vacation Club, I really we just really fell in love with it. So when we do stay there, it's more like for old time's sake. It's maybe not the most convenient to the parks, but it's still with the bus system, it's pretty efficient to get there.
yeah. And to highlight Donna's point from before, the studios, the deluxe studios at Old Key West are 390 square feet compared to 355 at Saratoga Springs. So
Ah,
a bit bigger, and real clean and comfortable. And with so Old Key West and Saratoga Springs sit right next to each other, which sit right next to the Lake Buena Vista Golf Club. And so you see the holes for the golf club kind of sprinkled in through
Yes.
Saratoga Springs and Old Key West. And that's just a neat thing. Just like Donna said, the golf club atmosphere type thing of just you're
Yeah.
driving to your room or you're taking a walk in the evening and there's a golf hole right there.
My
And you
gosh,
might
it's so
see someone
nice.
just yeah,
Yeah.
someone might be playing through, but just being around a golf course, there's something
It's relaxing to just
yeah,
sit
exactly comforting
and
and
watch.
relaxing about it.
Even the porch is large, like it's not a balcony. It's more of a porch. And when we would go there, we would say, oh, we need our porch time, because you have the ceiling fan out there and you have a table and, the porch I don't know the square foot offhand, but it's way bigger than any other resort balcony that you can go to. So I think that's part of it, even though it's kind of warm out there in Florida a lot of times. You can turn that fan on and keep the air moving.
Yeah, and having a little again, a fan outside like it's hot and whatever here and it can get we try not to use the air conditioning if we don't need to, but if
Yeah,
the air is just dead and warm it's just too much. But
oh
if I
yeah,
have just that air circulation it just is so different.
yeah. And it's right off the porch is right off the dining room area, so you can keep the doors locked. The railings are high, so you don't have to really worry about kids, getting out there and being able to walk out into a canal or anything like that. The railings pretty much chest high, so even the ones that are up higher, there's only at the most, I think some buildings do have 3 stories, but most have two, and you really never feel like you're that high up. So you can lock your. It's like a French door with the blinds. In the morning, we used to open up the blinds, let the sun in a little bit, have breakfast either on the porch or at our dining room table, and the storage in these 1 and 2 bedrooms. And I stayed in a grand villa once. Oh my gosh. I can't even tell you how nice they are. Like really, 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 it's more than an apartment. There's an overlook upstairs looking down into the living room. I didn't even care about if I went to the parks. It was just so nice and luxurious to have.
And it's one of those things if I could get used to this.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And that's why we still go back. There's newer resorts and, closer resorts to parks, but Old Key West being my first home away from home, my first home with Disney, it just has that special thing about it that it just brings us back. Anytime I can get into a 1 bedroom, now I'll either do a studio or a 1 bedroom. I don't need the 2 bedrooms anymore. We used to do two when we had the kids coming, but we will do the 1 bedroom now for my husband and myself. In fact, we're staying in one in October. And, we don't really even need all that space of a 1 bedroom for 2 people, but it's so nice to have, you know, come back and sit on the couch and, it's just like being at home, except you're at Disney World.
Yeah, and I've told this story on here before that the one time my wife and I went down and it was kind of a late trip that we could not get the studio like we normally do, so we got a 1 bedroom villa. And there were we slept in the main bedroom one night, and then my wife's like, let's try the sleeping in the living room just on the couch to see what that's like. And
Yeah.
the TV was there, and we were just watching TV, and we went and got a DVD from the community center. And
Yeah. Yeah.
there was the laundry facilities. We were over there for like
Oh
three
my
days. We're like,
gosh.
we should do
The
some laundry
laundry.
just for the heck of it. It's like,
Yeah, it has a laundry room. I mean, and the newer ones, the older ones, or no, was it? I'm confused now because I've stayed in both. But some of the laundry rooms have a pass through to the bathroom, and then some of them have the wall built so that it's a separate room. It's its own room. It doesn't have the door going into the bathroom, and I can't remember when they changed that. But I've stayed in both. I kind of like the pass through better because it's like a shortcut. You don't have to go through the bedroom.
hmm
I think that is a newer model. because people complained that you had to go through the bedroom to get to the bathroom, where when they put the two doors into the laundry room, you could scoot right through there and get to the bathroom without disturbing people.
which is always nice, especially if you have some people in your travel party who like to sleep in a bit and are going to be
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
bedroom or you have to take care of business there, getting dressed in the
yeah,
morning, whatever.
exactly, exactly.
Now, Old Key West has five different areas that you can stay in. The first one is Miller's Road, and as soon as you come into the resort, if you make a right, that's where it is. We stayed there before. Nice little quiet area.
I love Miller's Road.
Then, if you would make a left right after you come in, that's the North Cove Road, and that's the preferred area. So, if you look, it says preferred room, or if you ask your travel advisor about a preferred room, reason it's preferred is it's the closest to the hospitality house, which is where you're going to check in, where the restaurants are, where the main pool
Yeah,
is, things along those lines. It's also the smallest area though, so it's kind of limited.
yeah, it is. It is limited. I don't think that's the only, I think that is the only area that I've not stayed. It's never available. It's very hard to get. So I have not stayed, like you can request it, but chances are, they're not guaranteed, definitely. Chances are you won't get it because there's so many other requests put in for it. But I like Miller's Road because you're still close to the hospitality house. It's just a little bit of a walk, but it's such a pleasant walk that you don't mind it. Sometimes the parking at North Cove is a little rough because people will use that when they come to visit the restaurant or the gift shop or whatever. And if nothing's available in that lot in front of there, they'll use the North Cove parking area. So I like Miller's because it's still close and it seems a little bit more spread out, that you're not closed in so much, confined.
Yeah, I agree with that. And also, depending on where you are on Miller's Road, if you're on the, let's see, the farthest west versions of it, so closest to where the it branches off, you're closer to the hospitality house than some places on North Cove Road.
Exactly.
It's
That's a
a,
good
you know,
point.
you're walking across a, little two-lane road and then
Yeah,
the hospitality house is right there. So it's really convenient. Even if, and as what Donna said, even if you're a little bit farther along, that's a really nice walk. That we were there the
it
one
is.
time
Yeah.
and it had rained and we got soaked. We were at Epcot and we got completely drenched. So we came home and we dried out. My wife was just lounging around and it had stopped raining. So I decided I want to go for a walk and just walked along that area. And there's a little golf hole there and
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
so pleasant.
I know. I love it. I know. And that's where when I stayed in the Grand Villa, it was on Miller's Road and um it's a little further back. In fact, when we bought DVC, there used to be oh, I can't think of there was the office was there. It was much different than it is now. The office was there and there was rocking chairs. There was a little boardwalk area there and we would sit in these rocking chairs and I thought, oh man, and the view was on the golf course. The villa that we toured the view was the golf course. And they do that on purpose because they want you to see that great, that great golf course view and you could watch. That's what sold us. I have to admit, that is definitely what sold us. But that's all different now, because as they added more resorts, they didn't keep the office actually, in the old resort. They converted that all to rooms. So and that's the only area where there's elevators. So in case if you do need an elevator access to go up to a second or third floor, which that's the place where the three floors are, you'd need the Miller Road to have access to an elevator.
Yeah, you got to walk up steps. So,
Yeah.
carrying luggage up, you get your weightlifting in for the day.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes. On a hot day. Oh.
That's why we usually go in September or December or January. So nice
Yeah.
cooler months.
Yes. Smart.
Now, this resort is fairly big. It gets spread out. Going along south, you get to Peninsular Road, then Old Turtle Pond Road, and then South Point Road, which is the farthest south. It's the farthest from the entrance, but it's closest to Lake Buena Vista, which is, on the other side is Disney Springs.
Yeah.
So you can, depending on where you're at, you can look out your back window or sitting on your little patio and you can see Disney Springs in the evening. or in the morning or whatever time of day you're looking, you know.
Yeah, there's really no bad place. There's no bad area, I don't think, at Old Key West. They all have their advantages and disadvantages, but it's far more advantages than anything because it depends if you want seclusion, if you have kids, you want to be closer to the main area where the pools are. But all these little sections have their own quiet pools. So you're really never far from a pool, no matter where you're staying.
Yeah, and each of them also has a bus stop too. So whenever you're going to go to the parks in the morning, you know, you can go to your little area's bus stop and you don't have to worry about, you know, hiking all the way back to the front of the resort.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. And it is a pretty efficient, and you kind of learn the system of the buses as your every day goes by, you're getting a little bit more familiar with the order of, sometimes you can walk to another bus stop from another area and actually be closer to that. And you could get on before it would fill up. And sometimes we used to, when we stayed in Miller Road, we would walk over to the hospitality house and maybe catch that, or instead of going all the way around the drop offs, we would get off at the hospitality house and walk back because it was actually shorter to get off there and take a little walk to one of the closer front areas than it would be to wait till you get to your stop a little further away. The buses are efficient, but they can be a little slow with all the drop offs. And if you have some scooters, it may take a little more time. So you kind of get the feel for the layout after your first couple days. It takes a little bit of time to get more familiar.
Or if you're a pro like Donna, you just know, you know this stuff.
No, it takes me every time I stay there. By day 3, I'm finally catching on again. Oh yeah, that's right.
And now one of the neat little Easter eggs or hidden things is that at the hospitality house, there are semaphore flags that are displayed there, and they spell out welcome home.
I never
So
knew that.
if you know your semaphore, yeah, there's
I
a lot
just
of
thought they were regular flags, like,
yeah, there's a lot of neat little things that are built into Old Key West. And again, that's what makes Disney so great is their storytelling,
and the
is these little
decals.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, and by the way, you don't need to be a DVC member to stay at the resorts. They are open for regular people to book. So again, if you want to book, talk to your travel advisor.
Yeah, that's right. We have access just like, it's on a cash basis, not points, but and there's still a certain amount of inventory that is cash inventory. So we have access to that, um, that we can, get a quote out for you.
And now at Old Key West, there are 761 rooms, and they're divided into a couple different categories. We mentioned a few before. We'll go through them. The deluxe studio, which sleeps up to 4 people. It's 2 queen beds. There's a little kitchenette with a soaker tub and has a DVD player. So this is similar to just a regular hotel room, but it has that little kitchenette area with a microwave, an extra little sink, a miniature fridge, coffee maker, toaster. It has paper plates and plasticware and some paper cups, things like that. So it has that little more of a homey feeling. This is what we normally get. That has that little bit of that kitchenette that we like to, we'll go shopping and we'll buy some TV dinners to put in there to have,
Yeah,
as a
yeah,
late night snack, or we'll get some extra milk and orange juice, and we can have cereal in the morning before going to the park instead of
yeah,
actually having
yeah.
to go to a restaurant.
That's what we did too. We would get those little donut holes or something quick. The only thing about the studios that I believe they're the only DVC studios that does not have, or I mean, that does have the 2 queens. Most of them now will have the converted couch, the converted chair with couch and whatever. But this one has the 2 queens and they've never changed that. And I don't know if that's a good thing or bad. I don't know what I prefer. Like, I kind of like the 2 beds. You don't have to pull it out every day, but I kind of also, it gives you more room in the other kind, but I don't know. It just seems like it makes it more like a hotel room when you have the DVC like Old Key West studio.
Yeah, the Saratoga Spring. Whenever they've done the updates or whenever the newer ones have been built, they've gone straight to having. Well, I'd call it a Murphy bed. That
Yeah, the
or
Murphy bed.
they call it the pull down bed officially. Um, that comes
Yeah,
out of the
that's even
wall.
newer. That's even newer than the pull-out couches, which I think the Murphy beds are fabulous. They are way more comfortable than the pull-outs. But yeah, Old Key West hasn't done that with their studios yet.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's ever going to be on a docket for an update or not, but it's it is what it is, and you know, my little girl, whenever we stayed at Saratoga Springs last time, my little girl, we showed her how to do the pull down bed, and she thought that was the most amazing thing, and she was like, "This is my bed." She claimed it right away. Now the one bedroom villa will sleep five. There's a king bed in the bedroom, and then there's the queen sleeper sofa, and then a twin sleeper chair. It has a full kitchen here with a soaker tub and a whirlpool tub, which my wife loved whenever we went down there. She's like, "Oh, we need one of these at home."
It is nice.
And
My
then the
kids
D
loved it.
yeah, then the DVD player and the well, officially washer and dryer. If you're from Pittsburgh, it's a washing machine.
Yeah. And they're full. They're not stackables. They are full washer and dryer.
And the full kitchen is amazing. That there was a at least the one we stayed at, there was like a little island
Yes.
um in the middle, and that's where the TV was for one side where the couch was, so you could watch and you just open up a little drawer, like a little
So nice. Yeah.
cupboard type thing. And then the other side you could use it to as a little table to eat from the kitchen. So the way they economized the room there, the space was great.
Yeah.
It's like an
Yeah.
open concept that the kitchen and living
I
room are kind of
love
like
that.
together.
I love that.
And that's really nice that I know that whenever we're at home and, somewhat trying to cook a meal, but other people are in the living room and they're watching TV or they're talking or whatever, it brings you closer together so that you can be
Yes,
more part of, more part of the family and part of what's going on than being isolated in the kitchen.
exactly.
Two bedroom villas, they sleep up to nine. There's a king, there's two queens in the other bedroom, and then the queen sleeper sofa and the twin sleeper chair. Full kitchen again, the soaker tub, whirlpool tub, DVD player, washer and dryer. And then, as Donna mentioned, the three bedroom grand villas will sleep up to 12. The main bedroom will have the king. The one of the other bedrooms has two queens. The other bedroom has two doubles, and then the uh, sofa and the chair that fold out. There's the full kitchen, the soaker tub and whirlpool tub, DVD player, washer and dryer. So, like,
Yeah,
two-story thing.
the dining room table in the Grand Villa is much bigger. It's a long table, not the round. So you can feed, you can seat all the people in your party because we had 10 when I was there. And we all had a place at the table where before you wouldn't be able to do that in like a two bedroom, it's kind of not enough space, but um, yeah, the table's nice and the two stories. Um, it's just, you can't beat it. You really cannot beat it. Everybody has a bathroom. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, multiple bathrooms in these two. So, and the long dining table, it you know, makes me think of like, the rich family in the mansion that has that long dining table with,
Yeah, yeah,
all the guests
like
around
an
it.
estate. It's like a big estate
Exactly.
table. Well, we hardly ever had like meals there all together. We were always coming and going, but it was just nice to have.
Hmm. And that's the thing that Donna mentioned this even before, that the resorts are so nice that that could be your vacation in and of itself. And actually, whenever the pandemic hit in March of 2020, that we had a vacation planned for mid-March to go down to Disney, and I think we were going on like maybe the 15th or so, and then like on the 11th or 12th is whenever Disney announced that the parks were closing, and we actually debated, should we just go down anyway and just stay at the resort
Yeah,
because it's
yeah.
so nice. So
It,
we
it,
eventually
yeah.
decided to save some money and didn't know what else would be closing and restrictions. So we just played it safe and we rescheduled it for later. But that was it was a decision we had to make.
Yeah, I could see that very easily at any vacation club resort, really. Um, but Old Key West especially because it's you know, they've since brought down the size of them, but Old Key West was the original with it's such a big place that you really feel like you are home. You could easily make a trip just staying there. Um, with everything to do in the Orlando area, that could be your apartment. Like I could live there. I could live there for a whole summer, even though I would never do that in the summer because of the Florida heat. Like if anywhere else, I could just easily just enjoy living there. The air conditioning and, even the hallways are long. Like it just really stretches out that long villa. It's truly defines the word villa. That's what it really is.
Well, maybe it could be, there's like the snowbird thing. If I could winter there, definitely.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, winter there. That's perfect.
And now the DVC resorts are considered deluxe resorts. So they're treated on the same level, and you get a lot of the same amenities with the dining and the shopping, everything. And Old Key West has Olivia's Cafe as the main dining room, or sorry, as a little place you can get food. There's also Goods Food to Go, which is just like little um, counter service area.
Counter service, yeah.
And there's also Turtle Shack Snack Bar. Try saying that 3 times fast, huh?
Yeah.
So, and that's on the old Turtle Pond Road by the old Turtle Pond Road pool. There's also a mouthful.
Yeah, and if you didn't know that was back there, it's really tucked in there well. But it is, my friends, that's their favorite area to stay because the pool's pretty decent size. And I don't think they make them as big as they did back then. And then you have the food right there. If you want to eat, like if the kids want to grab like a lunch, like grilled cheese or something, some of the porches on there, they kind of back up to the pool. Like you have this nice little private area. You feel like you're the only ones there because it's tucked away in the palm trees.
Yeah, and the Goods to Go or Goods Food to Go, that's by the main pool in the hospitality house. And then the main restaurant, the Gurgling Suitcase, which great name, but the history behind this, it was named for the prohibition era practice of smuggling alcohol into the US in suitcases. And so what the customs officials would do, they would shake the suitcase and then listen for the liquid moving sloshing around on the inside. So if you had liquid in it, make sure that uh, the container was full, completely full, so you didn't hear the sloshing.
I never
If
knew
there's no
that.
air, if there's no air bubbles, then it's not going to move around much.
Yeah, I never knew that. That's a tiny little bar. Um,
Yeah,
there's only, I don't know if they added a room, but last time it kind of spills out into the boardwalk, the little area, not boardwalk, but you know what I mean, the walkway. It kind of spills out into that. So there's a couple little tables there, but you can take your drink over to the picnic tables, whatever, if you can't get a seat in there. It's probably maybe, what'd you say, like six stools maybe at the most?
yeah, something around those along those lines. But it's a nice little area to sit with a drink.
It reminds me of like when you go to Key West, like these little cafes, these sidewalk cafes and bars, and it's kind of themed just like that. When we were in Key West, all I could think about is, oh my gosh, this is so much like old Key West because the way the fencing is on the villas and the way the bars and the eating places are right along the walkway there, and um, the detail is, I know it's the other way around. I know the old Key West is supposed to look like Key West, but when I went to Key West, I was thinking it was like old Key West.
It's kind of like Pirates of the Caribbean of the ride that inspired the movie that inspired the ride. That
Yeah, yeah.
Key West inspired Old Key West, but then whenever you go to Key West, you think of so
Yeah.
it all it says something about how good of a job
Yeah.
the
It
Disney
made me want to
Imagineers did.
stay. It made me want to stay at old Key West again. So Disney knew exactly what they were doing.
And now, right in that area too is the Conch Flats General Store, which you can buy little sunscreen stuff you need. They also have the apparel, shirts, hats, little toys, things like that. And a lot of it's themed towards Old Key West. So if you want your souvenir, that's where you go. It's also
Yeah.
right next to Olivia's Cafe, the main restaurant.
Yeah.
Also in that area is the Sandcastle Pool. That this is where they're gonna have the poolside games and activities. That pretty much every resort at some point during the day has these activities. So whenever you're doing your resort day, if you just want to relax at the resort, not going to the parks, you're taking a late or your midday pool break or whatever, that the kids have something to do besides just swimming. Because I know my little girl could be in a pool all
Oh
day
yeah.
long and
That's
still
all they
would
want
not
to
want to
do.
leave.
Yeah. Forget the parks. Let's go to the pool. That's how my
Uh,
kids were.
and then adding the extra games and stuff to do because she is extremely social. So it's not a matter of what's going on; it's who else is here. Now this pool is 149,600 gallons. It's like,
Gosh.
what, you couldn't have added 400 more gallons to make it an even 150,000. It's, I don't know. But this also has a 125-foot long slide that goes through a giant sandcastle.
I love that sandcastle.
And
It's
that's
not,
something,
not so hidden Mickey.
yeah, and Disney does such a great job with the pools anyway. That they all, pretty much every one of the big pools has a slide in it. They're all themed.
Yeah, yeah.
I think the best one is at Yacht and Beach Club with Stormalong.
By far,
Is it
yeah.
Stormalong Bay? Yes.
Stormalong Bay, yeah. They just reopened.
But the Sandcastle pool at Old Key West is pretty nice too. There's a whirlpool spa, there's a little kiddie pool, and there's a dry sauna that uh, okay, so by the pool, there's the pool deck, there's a big lighthouse, and the sauna is inside the lighthouse. So that's a
Yeah,
neat little touch.
yeah, a lot of people think that's just like a decoration, like a lighthouse, but it actually, there's a door there and you can go in and like, I don't know why you like Florida's a sauna anyways, but if you really want to sit in a real sauna, then you can go in there.
So that's for the winter months, whenever you don't have to, whenever it's not,
Yeah.
90-some degrees and humid. And then there are pools and whirlpool spas at Miller's Road, Old Turtle Pond, and South Point. And then there's also playgrounds at Old Turtle Pond and South Point Pool. So at those other pools, a little bit farther away from the hospitality house,
Hey, baby.
they have, and Donna's getting visits from her dogs. So
Yeah, she did.
they've been on the show before.
I would love to. I wish one of these resorts would have like a dog day and everybody could bring their dogs to the pool.
We just talked about one of them that is dog friendly. I want to say it is Art of Animation or um
Would it let
Pop
you take the
Century.
dog into the water?
Oh, at least they're at the resort they are, so you can stay in the room. I'm not sure about going to the pool,
Oh,
but
yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah. The Port Orleans
Port Orleans
Riverside
also.
is yeah, and Yacht Club too.
That's it. Yacht Club. We were
You
talking about
stay
that.
there, if you stay there, you're going to see dogs. If you're a dog person and you miss your dog on vacation, those resorts, you will definitely see dogs. And then I really miss my dogs.
But yeah, they have at least the Pittsburgh Pirates, and since Don and I are Pittsburgh area, that they have pup nights. I think it's like
Oh
on
my
Tuesdays
gosh, I
that they
love watching. Yeah, Tuesdays. Yeah.
that they owners can bring their dogs. There are some restrictions, and proof of vaccinations and all that, but they can bring
Yeah.
the dogs to the stadium. There's a little deck that they can bring the dogs up on and let the
We
dogs
did
play
that.
around.
Yeah, we did that with our golden retriever. She was very well behaved. The ones I have now, they're golden retrievers, but a little more crazy than she was. So I don't think we could do pup night. My dog, I know this is off on a tangent, but my dog saw the baseball being thrown around and we were worried she was going to try to jump over it and try to get the ball. And she was all about balls, but she didn't. She sat there really well behaved. But we just haven't been back because I don't know I don't want to get all the way down there and it's not going to work.
Understood completely. And now all of the DVC resorts have a community hall, and at Old Key West, it's Conch Flats. And this is where you can go for crafts. They have ping pong, foosball, shuffleboard. They you can play video games. This is where you rent your DVDs and borrow equipment for tennis, basketball, volleyball, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But it's kind of like a nice little gathering place, and it's an extra thing to, if the kids aren't in the pool, it can give them something to do extra on the um, resort day or on your check-in day or your check-out day if you're leaving a little later, that you're not going to the parks, but you still want to have something to do, hanging around. And they have cast members who work with the kids in the community set in the community hall,
Really,
and
they're nice. They are really, really nice.
it's designed for kids, but they're not going to turn away an adult if you're going to
And
play
there's
by the rules and play
always,
nice.
yeah, there's always something going on in those. You can walk in if you're just curious and want to look around and see, hey, what's going on today? There's a activity schedule, and I think that's part of when you check in, they'll give that to you. it'll be in, something you can look at, not on the app. And it's really nice because, sometimes the kids just want a down day and a chill out day, and they can swim a little bit and then maybe go over and do their activities, and they can make little crafts. And, of course they're Disney themed crafts. So that everything's family friendly. And, um, our kids did that. They loved going in there. They weren't being boys. They're not quite as social as girls, but they just like to go in there, and it's real cool in there too with the air conditioning, so the parents can go in and kind of keep an eye on their kids. But the activity people in there, the ones in charge, they're trained for children to know how to keep them entertained. So you're always in good hands.
And Donna mentioned something there that she kind of said quickly, but it's the paper thing that you get when you check in. I always recommend that you go to the front desk to check in. Now
Yes,
you
me
can
too.
do the check-in on the app, but I always recommend going to the front desk.
Yeah.
If
But
you're going to get an upgrade or, a little bit of a perk or whatever else, they will give it to you if you check it in person. They're
yeah,
not going to automatically give it to you on the app, but in person, you can sometimes get a little bit of extra
never
pixie
know.
dust.
Yeah, you never know if there's something available, you're celebrating something and they have the availability. You can get an upgrade. You just never know when it could happen. You can't depend on it and you can't ask, but it may just happen automatically. But you have to be in person to get it,
Yeah,
to have a
don't
chance,
expect it,
to get it.
but it's like putting yourself, they say about the lottery, you can't win if you don't play. So
Right.
you're not, don't go in expecting it. We're not guaranteeing it, but it can happen.
Hmm. Right, exactly.
And now with the other activities that I kind of mentioned before, there are three tennis courts, two near the hospitality house, one near the old Turtle Pond Road. There's a basketball court also near the hospitality house and a sand volleyball court. And these are over kind of by where all right, so you come into
Yeah, like
the,
right past the community area. Yeah.
yeah.
And
So
it's
you come
really
in,
nice.
yeah, you come in, you check in, and where the check-in desk and bell services are. Then on the left is the Kong Flats General Store and Olivia's, and you keep walking down a little, it's like a boardwalk area. And if you keep going straight, you're going to like a little pond, and that's like where the boat house or where the boat pickup is. We'll talk about it a little bit. And then if you make a left, that's where you will see the goods food to go, and that's where the pool is. And if you keep in the fitness center and the community hall are all along that side. And if you keep walking more past the hall, you're going to get to where the volleyball court is and the tennis courts and the basketball court. So they're all kind of tucked away over in that area.
Like a giant sandbox.
Oh yeah, pretty much. Especially with the volleyball court.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's little like giant shovels and giant sand buckets, and it's just really fun for the kids because everything's oversized. And um there's no shade there though, so you'll kind of have to make sure you have your sunscreen on there, because I don't remember there being any shade in that area. But um I just like going over there and getting some pictures, and showing people like what all is there, because people don't go that far. If you don't go that far, you don't know about it.
Oh yeah, if you're just going to your, especially if you're not staying in that area, if you just go to your room, you're never going to
Right.
get to
Right.
explore that main area. And there's a lot of little hidden things there. It's like, oh, I didn't know they offered this. And
Yeah, it's really
so
nice.
another thing on check-in day, explore the resort, walk around, get to know the lay of the land.
Yeah,
And as I mentioned, that's where the exercise room, and which is pretty nice that they have some
it is.
good
Yeah.
equipment in there.
Yeah, it's
They
actually all working too. It's not like it broke down, and sometimes the gyms you go to, like around here, like something's not working, but Disney, they're going to keep up on it.
yeah, they kind of cram a lot of stuff into that. It doesn't feel necessarily, you know, crowded. There's enough
They
room to
put
walk
that
around,
big
but
mirror. There's a big mirror, and you feel like, oh, that makes the room look bigger.
it seriously does. I like to admire myself whenever I'm lifting, my 10-pound weights and stuff.
Yeah, me too.
As I mentioned before, there are three playgrounds at the Sandcastle pool. So the main pool, Old Turtle Pond pool, and the South Point pool. There's also a an arcade, the Electric Eel Game Room, that's by the Old Turtle Pond pool. Now you do have to pay for that, so it's a little bit extra. You have to buy a little game card, like a little credit card thing to use. You can load with money. But I think pretty much all the resorts have a little arcade.
Yeah, pretty much. They're small. Of course, that's what my kid wanted to do. We go all the way down there, have the parks and everything, and they're like, is this all the bigger the arcade is? I'm like, we don't need arcades on vacation, okay? It's extra. They don't want to buy souvenirs. They want to put the money into those stupid games.
Like where were we going? My little girl's going to go to the park, and she asked, "Can I bring the iPad?" It's like we can play games on it. I was like, "No, you're going to the park to run around and
Yeah.
play. You don't need an iPad." Now, there's also Hank's Rent and Return. So this is where you can rent bikes, and including Surrey regular bikes or Surrey bikes to ride around the resort. Get a nice thing to do on your resort day,
Oh,
especially if it's not too hot. If you're there like in the fall or the spring or even the winter, there's a 1.37-mile jogging walking path. This is really nice. It goes by the canals. It goes by the golf course, the golf holes. So it this is where I was walking when I mentioned before, and it's so pretty, so peaceful.
yeah. It really is. It's just beautiful. And you know what? I could never like run, even if I was a runner, because you just stop and take pictures. Every time you turn around, you see something beautiful and you want to take more pictures, with the water features in the ponds that run along the golf course. And even the lighthouse from across the street, you can get a picture of the lighthouse with Turtle Crawl, right across, in the backdrop. And it's just so pretty, especially the sunset. That Old Key West was set at a certain angle so that at sunset it shines just like it does in regular Key West. It'll glow. The sun will be going down right on the area where the boardwalk and the pool and everything is, and it's just beautiful. I just can't wait to stay there again.
And there's something about being up either around sunset or early in the morning, or, maybe not around sunrise, depending on what time of year you're down there, but before other people get up, whenever it's more
Yes.
quiet and there's not the hustle and bustle and well, it's other than like right around whenever parks are opening and people are rushing to get
Right,
on buses
right.
or driving around or coming back home. The resorts are fairly quiet because most people are at the parks anyway, but it's
You
so
notice
so
more,
nice
like
there.
you
Yeah.
notice more of the wildlife, and the trees, and you hear more. You can hear the birds. You know what I mean? It's just better. It's just better. There's less people in your pictures. There's just a big advantage to that, I think.
Yeah, and again, it's like you're at in Key West along the beach, quiet resort, and
Yeah,
it has
yeah.
that
It
beach
really,
vacation
really is.
vibe.
It really is. They captured it perfectly.
And now there are campfires too that you can roast marshmallows and get s'mores kits that you have to buy. It's at the end of Turtle Crawl. It's from 6 to 7. I believe that's each night.
I think so. I think it is.
And then there's Movies Under the Stars, which is going to be near the sandcastle pool that they put up a big inflatable screen. This is Sundays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays at 8:30. At least as of this recording, they could change those dates. So, but a couple times a week, and they put some Disney movies on. And now I want to say that they're good Disney movies, but they're pretty much all good Disney movies. So,
Yeah, I think a lot of times, well, from my experience, it's either like a vintage older movie, like maybe Peter Pan or something, or it's more of a current, like more recent, like Pixar's type of stuff. So it's
yeah,
something for everybody. Like everybody's going to enjoy. Even the parents. Well, of course, the parents are probably going to stay with their kids, but even for any age group will enjoy a Disney movie. My kids still like Disney movies, so I don't think that you ever age out of a Disney movie.
I'm still trying to convince my little girl. It's like, hey, there's a couple of the newer Pixar movies that have come out that we haven't seen yet. And I'm trying to convince her, hey, do you want to watch a movie? Let's put this one on and let's put this one
Yeah.
on. And
Do you have Disney Plus?
we do, yes.
Oh yeah, we do too. In
So
fact, my
yeah,
son in Oregon watches it more than we do here. And he's 40. See how you never grow out.
Oh, I watch it sometimes more than my little girl does. That she loves watching the Spider-Man, like Spidey and his friends, the little cartoon
Oh yeah,
of the
yeah, yeah.
young Spider-Man stuff. That she loves that, and she could watch that all day. So I'm trying to introduce her to, like, there's more things out there that you can watch. You don't have to watch the same thing 30 times in
Yeah,
a
right,
row.
right.
I think we've seen every one of those episodes.
That's us for like Jurassic Park and Indiana Jones, because that's what my son was into. Of course, they didn't have DVDs, they were all VHS.
Oh yeah. Oh my, we had the collection of the Disney VHS that my youngest sister, still kept collecting. Then she got all the DVDs, and so now it's streaming, but she still has them.
Yeah, it is easier with streaming, I'll say that.
And now the transportation, we mentioned before about the buses, and we typically rent a car and we'll drive to the parks. But with my little girl and I, we're rope droppers. That we're up crack of dawn, excited. Let's get out. Let's get going. My wife is she likes to sleep in a bit more. So whenever my daughter and I get up and we'll be out the door, and my wife's like, "All right, just go ahead. I'll catch up with her later." And then she'll ride the bus to the parks. And um, a couple times, especially going to Magic Kingdom, she's like, "I like the bus better. It drops me off right here. I don't have to walk through the parking lot. I don't have to take the monorail. I just got on the bus and I was right here."
Oh, heck yeah.
So yeah, it's efficient.
Yeah, it really is. They have it down to a science.
And now, if you're going to Disney Springs, though, they have the Sassagoula River Cruise, which is a
Mhm.
little boat that goes along the canals. It will connect the um, Port Orleans resorts, Old Key West, and Saratoga Springs, and we'll take the little boat ride over. So
It's
that,
very,
and
very pleasant, and it's not the fastest way, but you're not there for that. You're there to relax and not have to worry about parking at Disney Springs, and hop on that boat, and you can see so much just going down the waterway. It's really a nice ride, and there's multiple places. It'll drop you off in different areas down at Disney Springs, depending on which store you wanted to go into. But that's the one time if I'm staying there, I'm not taking a bus for that. I'll take advantage of riding that boat because it's free. It's all included.
the people who are people who are captaining the boat and piloting the boat, they are often going to be former military. So whether it was the
Oh, right.
in the Navy, the Coast Guard, the Merchant Marines, whatever, that's who Disney tries to hire. Now it's not everyone who's there, but they tend to, if they can, hire people who have that uh, experience being around boats their entire professional careers.
I agree. I think that is and you know that's what I like about you start talking to some of these people and you get to know their background, and they're there for the love of Disney, for the love of being there and the working in the parks. And every single one of them loves their job. I have never met a cast member that didn't. They're just happy to be working at Walt Disney World. The boat drivers especially are especially chatty if you start talking to them.
Yeah, we mentioned this on this podcast before, that chat up the cast members, that you can learn some amazing stories,
Right.
and all you can get some also some great tips from them of, oh, try this, and oh, I love this place to eat, and oh, have you tried this thing that's here? And if it's a person who normally does not get chatted up, there
Right.
can be some pixie dust, that little
Yeah.
magic that gets spread
Yeah.
towards you. So don't
Yeah.
just do it because of that. Do it because of the other reasons. But
Right.
just
And
know,
the Disney management gives authority to cast members to provide little pixie dust moments like at their discretion. So it's just fun to learn about it, and you just never know. There might be like a little something extra, but it's not all the time, but it really is nice because they don't have to go ask somebody. They're allowed to say maybe you got like a free cotton candy or a snack or something like that. They're just really um I know one time I was struggling to get my money out, and they said, "Don't worry about it. It's on Mickey." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, you're kidding." And it was like, "Yeah, don't worry." I said, "Are you sure? It's yours." Like, oh my gosh, something little like that. It just you don't forget it, you know?
I had that happen to me out in Disneyland my first trip that I got a pair of ears. I got them monogrammed and I picked up the ears and just went to the person. She's like, "Oh, you have to go over here first and do this." It's like, "Oh, okay." She's like, "Oh, no, wait, just I'll take care of it." And I got it and I went like over to pay. She's like, "No, no, no, I got it." Like,
Oh,
really?
yeah, see,
So
yeah,
yeah, amazing stuff. And make sure that you leave your cast member comments too.
right, on the
If you
app, yeah,
experienced one of these
cast
things,
compliment, right. You'll
it's
always
on
look
the
at their
app.
name tag, always look at their name tag, and you'll need that for the cast compliment. And
Name and where they're from.
they
Hmm.
do get in touch with them, so they do get recognized. So it's really a nice thing that you can do, and not payback, but you know what I mean, like to acknowledge them, just leave a cast compliment because it's really, really appreciated.
It's like leaving your server a bigger tip for good service,
Yes,
but
yes.
it doesn't cost you anything, which doesn't always happen in Disney. So free stuff. Um, but yeah, I've leave cat compliments. Oh, every trip that there's something that happens that
Yeah.
somebody is deserving of that extra little bit. They went that extra little mile.
Yeah, and I think that's, getting those compliments that like motivates them to be the best they can be for every guest that they encounter, at Walt Disney World. So it comes back and it's a way for you to, and it doesn't cost anything for you, like to just to leave a kind word of what they did for you.
So we I think I've covered everything. We're here for a good time, not a long time. Donna's got business to run. The 10 years didn't happen on its own, and let's go
Yeah.
for another 10.
Yeah.
And
Oh my gosh. When I look back, like, how is 10 years behind me? I don't even know how that happened. But it did. It's 10 years. Yeah. It went
and so
fast. I can say that.
yeah, well, it must have been having fun because that's how time flies,
Pretty
right?
much. Pretty much. I'd say 90% of the time it was fun.
Now, Donna, do you have a travel tip you'd like to share?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. As far as what we're talking about, I think what people do is they get intimidated by the size of a place like Old Key West. Um, there are definitely smaller vacation club resorts, but I can't tell you if you need space, don't be intimidated by the size of when you look at the map and you see all those buildings. It's really much easier than it looks to get around. And just because there are bus stations doesn't mean it's not efficient. Like it really is a great place for families. There's so much to do. They're all filled with activities, but at Old Key West, I think that up at the community area there, it's one of the larger community areas of the vacation club resorts. And I really think for families, you get the most for your money. So I would say don't be intimidated by the size and just give it a try. Even if it's just for a few nights, you could maybe even do a split stay and try. I would probably recommend a one bedroom and up because you're going to get the full benefit and really the two bedroom as far as if as far as getting the most for your money with that you get the two bathrooms. It's going to be a better option and better deal for you than a one bedroom like or a studio because you're getting so much more space. So I would say just don't be intimidated by the size of it. Maybe try a split stay and get exposed to what it has to offer. And I'd be willing to bet you will be back.
And if you do opt for a split stay, go with the more elaborate resort second. Just as, oh, we're staying in
Good
place. Oh, it's
point.
so nice. And then you stay somewhere, it's like, oh, no, 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 this is nice. And going
Yeah.
the other way, it's kind of a buzz
Yeah,
kill.
you're right. You're right. That's definitely the good. I should have said that. That's a good tip to do it in that order and finish up at the better place that the larger, more deluxe version of Disney Resort. Yeah, that's a good point.
My travel tip goes along those lines that the Disney Resort hotels, both at Walt Disney World Resort in Florida and Disneyland Resort out in California, are worthy of being vacation destinations in and of themselves. So they have the great restaurants, amazing pools, tons of other things to do. So don't feel that you need to spend every moment in the parks. So take that midday pool break or have a resort day. It's not a bad thing. Help you rest up a bit, recharge your batteries, and then the next day you're ready to hit the parks again. but also let you enjoy these resorts that you are indeed paying for. So just remember, you get more than just a room. You get all
Right.
class, you get access to world class resorts.
Yes. I couldn't agree more with that. You'll realize if you don't do that, you're going to need a vacation after the vacation.
Hmm.
So if you do it that way, and when we would stay at either Old Key West or any vacation club really, and it doesn't have to be vacation club, we would do an off day every other day. And that made it feel like we really did have a vacation. We really did take our time. And when you get back to the parks, you're not frantically like tired from the day before, and then you have to cut that next day short. It gets you recharged, like you said, for the park that, and you can plan out your days strategically, but try to work in, even if it's just a morning resting and then go to a park later in the evening, but take your time, and enjoy what the resort has to offer, because that way you'll feel more like it really was a vacation.
Yeah, and that goes for all the Disney hotels, whether it's moderate value, deluxe, DVC, whatever it is.
I
And
agree.
getting that resort day, if you plan on just not going to the parks, it can save you a little bit of money on, the park tickets. But after a certain number of days, adding another day isn't that much more expensive. So if you want
Right,
to say, okay, I'm only paying, $20 extra for everybody today for this ticket. So if we just go later in the afternoon, it's not, we're not wasting money type of thing.
right.
So
Yeah. You're
you're
making
still
the
getting
most of your
value.
time. You're
Exactly.
making the most of your time when you do that, instead of trying to cram everything into whatever days you have. You're just getting, you're getting what you're paying for that resort room, enjoying all of the amenities that are offered. And there's so many. And you're not going to cover them all, but that's why you go back.
And you can spend your off day to do resort hopping to see the others, so you can
Right.
decide where you want to stay
Yeah.
the next time. And I know personally with our little, especially with little kids, with our little girl, that there have been times she's gotten worn out one day and the next day you kind of wish you just had a resort day because being in the park and they're crabby and they're whiny and whatever, it's like, all right, you're there to have fun. This
Yeah.
is lessening your fun. So less is more sometimes.
Yeah. That's the perfect way to put it.
Now, if you have a destination or experience that you'd like to have us discuss on the Where Yinz Goin podcast, or if you'd like to share your favorite destination or a travel tip, feel free to contact me. I'd love to hear your feedback and ideas. Donna, how can people get a hold of you?
Um, I'm at Donna at dreams with an S, dreamsbydesigntravel.com. And we can do anything you would like us to do, not just Walt Disney World, but worldwide destinations, including Europe. So we're doing a lot of Europe right now, and a lot of cruises. So we love Walt Disney World, but we love all the Disney destinations. We love all, and not just with Disney, with Universal, pretty much anywhere you want to go, we can take care of it.
And actually, coming up, we're going to be talking to Maureen about her trip to Disneyland Paris
Oh,
and
I didn't
then
know that.
her Alma Waterways cruise through France from Paris to, I think she went all the way to Normandy and back. And then we're going to talk to her just about international travel in general. So we're hitting Europe. So
She's a good one for Europe. I'll say that. Now I'm taking my first Europe trip in 3 weeks. So you might not want to talk to me. I won't be the expert, but it's my first time overseas. So I probably am going to learn a lot.
we can get your first-hand account on another episode down the
Yeah.
line.
And there'll probably be a lot of, here's what you don't want to do. But I planned it out myself as far as excursions and pre-arrival. So I'm a little nervous because, I've never been there, but we'll see how it goes. I can't pass up the opportunity though. So I'm just going to have to figure it out. I will. It's part of what we do here. We just figure out, even when it's our own trip, we have to work and do the research.
See, tough job of traveling to Europe to do the
Yeah.
research to make your trip better. So Donna
Yeah.
makes the mistake, so you won't.
Yes. Another good way to put it. You're right. Hopefully I won't make any mistakes, but if I pull this off and everything goes smooth, I'll be very happy, because there's a lot of moving parts. But it'll work out. It will. I'm excited.
Travel's what you make of it. So
That's
Open
true.
mind.
That's true. I'll be experiencing things for the first time, and I think that's the best part about it, you know, learning and just enjoying life in another country. I'll be glad to get home, I'm sure, but I am excited to get that trip started.
Now, here at the podcast, we're on Facebook and X at Where Yinz Goin, Yinz, Yinz, Goin, Goin with the apostrophe. All this information is going to be in the episode description. So if you want to contact us to book a trip or have any questions, you know how to contact us. You don't have to worry about spelling or anything else. Please like, follow, subscribe, leave a review, tell a friend. If you like what you heard, please let others know. We'll spread the joy. That's how we make the world a better place. Spread joy, right? So we
That's
can do that
right.
through this That's what the purpose of this podcast is, right? Make the
There
world
you
a better
go.
place. Donna,
Sounds
thank you so
great.
much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for asking me. I love talking about Disney resorts, but especially Old Key West. That's why I jumped on it when you said you needed a guest on. I'm like, I can do that.
We'll have you back later on, I'm sure. So for everyone
Definitely.
else, please join us next time. We're Hanat Nat, and we'll see you later.
Thank you, Matt. Bye-bye.